Hi everybody, it's Jeff. Um, Trying something a little different today. On my recordings, I've been using my cell phone, and I recorded the cell phone, then I upload it to my computer, and then I upload it to my editing software, which is web-based. Takes a lot of time, and a lot of times the uploads fail, and I have to do it over again. This is recording directly from a webcam to my software, my editing software. So hopefully it'll eliminate a couple of steps. I want to review my new tank kit today. I got this for my birthday a few weeks ago. It'll be my first Takom kit. I really looking forward to building this. It looks like a real nice kit. I took a quick glance inside. I haven't opened any of the bags or anything yet. Before I do that, I wanted to give you just a brief history on how this tank came into being. I'll post a few pictures here of some of the predecessors, and just to show you, just a brief history. I got this book I've been reading, find it very, very interesting. Here's the, let's see, there's the number on it, if you guys can read it, if you're interested in getting it. I'll post some pictures here, strictly for educational purposes, and let you guys see kind of where this falls in the progression of tank development. As you know, or as maybe you don't know, World War I started in 1914. About that same time, the Holt Tractor Company developed a tracked vehicle, mainly used for farm work. It was fairly quickly implemented by the military to pull artillery and that type of thing. I'll put a picture up here and let you see what that looks like. 1915, the British Willie was developed, the little Willie, I should say. One of the very first tanks. Up to that time, mostly armored cars had been used. These armored cars were very basic, based mainly on like truck chassis. Here's an example of one of the Canadian machine gun carriers developed in 1915, based on an auto car chassis. I'll put a picture up here real quick. Okay, after that, well, due to the stalemate on the Western Front in 1915, military, Americans, British, French, all realized that there was a need for something that could go across the battlefield. And they needed something that would be able to cross barbed wire and trenches, and also protect their troops from artillery fire and machine guns. So they started working on tank designs. The Little Willie, which was the first tank developed, soon became the British Mark I. And I've got a picture of that to show you. Okay, the following year, 1917, saw a lot of tank development. The American Ford Company developed an M1917, which I have a picture of. It basically was a design exercise. I don't know if it ever saw any service. Holt, the same company developed the Holt tractor, developed a tank called the American Holt Gas Electric in 1917. And that was one of the very first, attempts at a tracked tank also. And I'll throw you a picture up here right now. In France, the French military developed the Snyder CA, and I've got a picture of it in 1917. Also in 1917, the French developed the Chamond, which is this kit I'm going to review. They built well, actually, I should say they developed a Snyder, and then they developed an early Saint Chamond, and then a late Saint Chamond, all three French tanks. Uh, the thinking of the day was that instead of having big tanks that lumbered across the battlefield, they were better off with small tanks that could move faster and would, be a little um, more difficult to hit. So they developed the French FT by Renault in 1918, and then the Americans copied it in 1918 to the M 1918. That's a brief history of tank development up to this point. The British went on to develop the Marks, Mark IV, Mark V, so on and so forth. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into this kit. I'm going to switch the camera to the bench, and we'll take a quick look at what we've got here. Okay, be right back. Okay, here's the kit. This is kit number 2012 from Takom, 1/35 scale. It includes one figure, little French guy wearing his beret and holding a pipe. I'm not sure if I'll use that when I build it or not. Anyway, here's what we've got. I've got the instructions. Everything's in plastic, and I've got all the parts here. Let me shut the camera off for a second here, and I'll get the stuff out of the bags, and then we'll take a look. Okay, be right back. Oh, okay. I got everything out of the bags. All the bags were resealable, which is very nice. Duplicate sprues were bagged together, but no problem. I don't see any damage anywhere. Let's start off with taking a look at the instructions. It's a technical drawing. It's very shiny, of course, makes it real hard to photograph. But we'll take a quick look inside. Your basic, let's see if we can keep this on camera. Basic safety precautions. Here's a list of paints, all MIG paints. I haven't gone through my paints yet to see if I have everything or not, but I'll do that real soon here. Here's our sprue map. So we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and the figure and some decals. Okay. Step 1, I've got it divided for us here. So step 1 is putting some details on top of the hull. This kit is a little different than others. Instead of having a bathtub hull as the bottom is basically just a flat piece of plastic, and then the hull on top is pretty much all put together for you, except for the details. So we'll put some details on here. We got some hatches and things. 2 is more hatches, lots and lots of hatches on this. Let's see, jump to page. 3, we have some more details. There's a little extra bump out on top of the tank. That's one thing about the early Chamond. The crews really complained about headspace. In the early one, the roof was flat, and it was a perfect target for Germans to come along and throw hand grenades and satchel charges and things like that on top, and they would just ride along until boom. So they learned rather quickly that a sloped roof was better, not only for the occupants inside, but to have hand grenades and whatnot roll off instead of getting trapped up there. So we do have one little cupola here on the top. There's no turret on this tank. There is a 75 millimeter gun. And step 4, we've got the exhaust comes out the roof and just goes toward the back. Try and keep this all on camera. In 5, we have the main gun and one machine gun in the front going on and some more details. 6, I think there's four machine guns on swivels. Those are going to be put together, and then some details on 7, and a little more detail on 8. 9 is putting a panel on the front of the hull and putting your machine guns in. Very simple. 10 is a couple of internal supports and some hatch covers on the side. This has no internal detail to speak of at all. Interesting note about this tank, it was one of the first few that had a gas electric setup. There was one, I think, before that, but it had a gasoline engine that drove a generator, and the generator drove 2 electric motors, one on each side, so that it was very easy to drive. There was no transmission, no gear shifting. You put power to one motor, it would turn one way. Put power to the other motor, it would turn the other. Reverse and forward. Very simple design. It worked really well. The problem with this is, of course, that it was very long, and the hull overhung the tracks front and rear, and it would get stuck really easy. So moving on to 11, we've got a couple of rollers that we're building up. The idea is that the rollers would give it a little bit of an edge when it comes to going across obstacles or through trenches, where the front and rear of the tank, which they've got a roller here at the rear and 2, I believe, at the front, would give you a chance of rolling through, instead of digging in. 14 is starting on the suspension. This is a rather frail, light suspension based on the Holt tractor, which I mentioned earlier. A lot of the early tanks had designs and similar with the Holt tractor. So you're building up on the suspension on 14, 15, and 16. More details on the bottom on 17 and 18. And some more details for the suspension on 19. And then here, I'm trying to keep you on camera. On 20, we've got some rollers for the tracks. 21, we're putting in the drive sprockets. Okay. And then 22, we've got the idler wheel for the rear. They break this down really well. Lots of small steps. But 23 looks like some of the supports for the suspension till 24, 25, 26, more suspension parts. 20, this is 26. It's funny, and this is 26. So I think they've got a little error there in their numbering system there. But this is getting it all together. That's interesting too. We go from 26 to 32. A little bit of a problem there. But it's just getting more and more pieces of the rear of the suspension in place. This tank is going to have a very detailed suspension underneath where you're not going to see it, and then basically it's just a box on top. Getting our suspension in place. More detail parts. It looks like some These look like kind of the fenders. They go up underneath. Now I've got a fold over here. 37 putting the hull on the base. 38 putting some more details on the outside. 39 finishing the tracks. These are individual link tracks, and they are flexible. And 40 is more details on the tracks. And then here's our little man and the paint call outs. And that's it for the instructions. Let's take a quick look at the plastic. Well, here's the decals that are included in the kit. They have Takom on them. I suppose Takom both did their own decals. If you guys can see that. A few little markings and things. Simple little decal set. And we've got a paint guide with two different, actually looks like three different designs, and then more on this side. Very, very detailed, and they do MIG colors, which I use Vallejo, so I'll have to convert all that stuff. Sorry about the glare, but that's very interesting. Got all kinds of colors. Haven't decided yet for sure which one I'm going to do. Okay, let's go ahead and look at some plastic. First off, we have sprue A, which there's two of them. Let's get this where you can see it. We've got our drive sprockets, and we have some suspension for the tracks. Here's two machine guns here. Some of the suspension parts. Lots and lots of little wheels. Everything looks nice and crisp and clear. I don't see any flash. I don't see any ejector pins where they shouldn't be. Very, very, very nice molding. So there's two A's. Put those to the side. And this is the big one. B. Got lots and lots of tracks, and we have two of these. These are workable. They're going to take a little bit of time to get them together. They look really nice. Very, very clear. I see a few extra rivets there. I haven't really seen in the instruction if those are needed anywhere. I have my rivet tool. I can make up as many rivets as I need to put some detail in it. But this looks really nice. I'm not seeing any injector pins, anything. This is dated 2002, 2013. So it's not a brand new kit by any means, but it looks really good. I don't see any flash or anything on it. C. Let's see here. Here's our figure. Little guy. There's his head and his arms and the torso. Detailed parts for the front of the hull. This is where the artillery piece, I think it's a 75 millimeter cannon, goes through. This is the rear. Here's the cannon in two pieces. I have to put that together. Here's a bunch of the hatches, the exhaust pipe, and the muffler. Everything looks really good. A few little hatches. Here's the detail parts for the top of the tank. Very nice. Okay. Here's D. I can get y'all on camera. Lots of hull parts. don't see any flash. I don't see any problems. This should be pretty nice to build. I can't really pick out any specific parts, but they all look really good to me. Okay. And we'll make sure we don't damage anything. These will all go back in the bags as soon as I'm done. Here's the bottom. And this is the internal supports. That's where a couple of the rollers go through. Lots of suspension parts. Very cleanly molded. I see no flash anywhere. Lots of rivet detail. These are some more of the rollers. It should be a lot of fun to build. The interesting part is this is going to be the paint. I don't know if I'll go with that really detailed paint scheme or not, but it should look really nice when it's all together. I really like the World War I stuff. I'm planning on building more. And here is the hull. Okay, lots and lots of nice detail. You can see the rivets. I know I'm probably getting a little close. This will get a good wash before I even start. I can feel a little mold release on it. But should build up into a real nice model. Okay, so that's basically the kit. Something I'll show you real quick. Coming up soon on the channel is the German version of a World War I tank. So I've had this kit for quite a while. I'll be reviewing it soon. This is a 1980 kit, so this is over 40 years old. It does have workable tracks. It's basically the same as the Chamond as far as the way it's put together. It's got 450 parts in it, made in Italy. So I'll be building that before you know it. I'll do a review on this one too, before you know it. Okay, guys. I hope you liked that. Please like, subscribe, share. I'm up getting really close to 250 subscribers now. I really appreciate that. I'm having a lot of fun doing this. So I'll get this posted here in just a little bit, and anybody interested in seeing that AV7 German tank, let me know, and I'll do a review on it soon. Okay, have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.